All right, we'll go ahead and start.
Okay, welcome everybody. So I'd like to call our July Sustainability Commission meeting to order. For roll call, Swan Jacobson.
Here.
And Stephanie Vela.
Here.
And Brian Lee. And Steve
Here.
Christensen.
Here.
And Christy Santo Domingo is here. For our land acknowledgement, we acknowledge that we are on the indigenous land of Coast Salish peoples who have reserved treaty rights to this land, specifically the Snoqualmie Indian tribe. We thank these caretakers of this land who have lived and continue to live here since time immemorial. So we have our agenda for tonight. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
I move we approve the agenda.
Second.
Anyone opposed or have anything to add to the agenda?
No.
Okay, it is passed. And now let's go ahead and approve the minutes. So we did receive the June minutes. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved. Second.
Anyone opposed to the minutes? Okay, the minutes have passed. And now we have public comments, a 3-minute timer. Do we have a timer? Okay, perfect.
Did Mary say she was going to public comment tonight?
Mary did send in a written public comment. Mary, if you want to raise your hand, we can have you go next after this. Yes. Okay, great. We'll have Mary go after the public comment in the room.
I'm going to promote Mary.
So we have Aryan, right? Is that how you say it? And he is a student from East, right? East Lake High School. Yay. So usually they come up on front, but I mean, wherever you feel comfortable.
Yep, come on. That way you can also set it down at the table if you'd like.
Yeah, if you'd like to sit at the table.
All right, Gary is online. Ready? Okay.
All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Aryan, and I'm a student at Eastlake High School. Over the past year, I've been developing a network of low-cost air quality monitoring systems with the goal of making air quality information more accessible at the community level. Like many cities across the region, Sammamish lacks its own air quality monitoring stations. Instead, it relies on data from surrounding cities. While residents can view regional air quality data online, those measurements often come from stations that are in different cities or from a handful of privately operated air quality sensors that can overestimate the air quality index or be delayed, hence not always presenting real-time local conditions. This gap becomes especially important during seasonal events like the wildfire season, when smoke conditions can vary significantly over short distances. To help address this, I designed a low-quality monitoring system that continuously measures particulate matter, including PM 2.5 and PM 10, which are some of the pollutants most associated with wildfire smoke and respiratory health. The system collects real-time environmental data and can be deployed in multiple locations throughout the city. By placing several of these monitors across Sammamish, we can begin building a more detailed picture of how air quality changes from one neighborhood to another. This doesn't replace current air quality tracking methods. Instead, it complements existing data by providing additional local insight. Additionally, I plan to use machine learning to compare data collected by my systems with regional datasets from organizations such as the Washington Department of Health and the NOAA. This will offer detailed air quality metrics without needing expensive equipment, help identify local pollution patterns, and recommend mitigation strategies that could help improve air quality in specific regions. As more monitors are developed, the data can help the city better understand local air quality patterns and identify areas where additional monitoring or future environmental initiatives may be most beneficial. As the network grows, it has the potential to become a valuable resource for residents, schools, researchers, local businesses, and city planners alike. I'd like to thank Ms. Rose Waker, Ms. Christy Santo Domingo, Ms. Julie Hahn from the Sammamish Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Adam Petruski from the Puget Sound Clean Air Agency, and everyone else who has supported this project and offered guidance throughout its development. I'm excited to continue improving the system and working with the community to make air quality information more accessible for everyone in Sammamish. Thank you for your time.
Nice.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's great. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
And just so you know, usually we don't comment after that.
Yeah.
So it's not that.
Yeah.
But it was just
Yeah.
And if any commissioners are interested in learning more, you're absolutely welcome to reach out and I can connect you. Ariane gave Christy and I a really wonderful presentation a couple of weeks ago, really went into some more detail, showed us some of the AI learning that he's paired up with this. And if you folks want to learn more, we can absolutely connect you.
More different.
What?
I got a list of questions.
I thought you might, Steve. So, so typically during commission meetings, we don't do one-on-one, but if you want to meet with commissioners individually or in smaller groups, we absolutely can. And then potentially if something comes on the agenda that's very related to this, we can invite you back as well, just so you know the next steps. And this was Ariane's practice because he's also going to be presenting to City Council in a couple of weeks, which is really great.
And he won the Washington State Science Fair,
Oh, yeah.
right? He won the science fair with
Very
us.
cool.
Thank you very much. Feel free to stick around if you want to listen to the meeting, but no pressure or worries or anything.
Yeah, thank you.
Well,
Thank you.
all right.
I'd love to hear what you wanted.
I don't know how it detects.
Have a good rest of your day.
2.5.
Okay. Oh.
That's my first question.
All right.
And then now we have a second public comment, right?
Yes,
Okay.
we have Mary Wichter online.
Hello, Mary.
Mary, thank you for emailing in your comment as well.
Yes, thank you for updating how to do that. Anyway, I really loved what was just presented by the student with innovation and time and technology, and I think is very, very inspiring. I hope it will exist and be useful for Sammamish, particularly for the Sustainability Commission and even our council and people setting goals. So what I emailed in today is just a reminder that tansy ragwort, that's that really bright yellow flower you see in the photo that I attached, and St. John's wort, which also is yellow, but it's starting to brown a little bit, so it's a little bit different, but they're both Class C noxious weeds, and they're on King County's noxious weed list. You are supposed to manage those weeds or maintain them to make sure that they do not do seed production, because they create millions of seeds every year, literally, which I've spoken to before. I did see they're out doing some mowing on like 218th Avenue, just past, just north of Northeast 4th Street. It's not really good to mow them because the leaves, which are very distinctive looking for tansy ragwort, they're toxic whether they're green or dry. So if they just get cut up, the deer still eat them, and it's really bad for animals, particularly the liver and people that touch it. So I'm hoping that the city will continue to use best practices. You pull them, bag them, put them in the garbage. Do not put them in the yard waste recycle. You just export them to somebody else and do it in patches. The photo is right at that speed limit sign past the mosque on Southeast 20th. If you want to see a patch, it's a big grove there. A little bit of it's tansy ragwort. The other stuff is the St. John's wort. And Jan Bird, who's been a steward forever, she originally taught me about them. But anyway, I hope this city that will do that. I will try to report on C-Click Fix and hope that they will manage those so that we don't end up with more of those. And then I think you're talking about trees today. Trees are really important. In the past, I said, maybe parks could take more trees, and parks said, no, we don't need or want more trees. I don't know if that's still true, particularly with the bomb cyclone. But there might be areas in our city where they can take trees, because the tree code, if you read it, it was adopted as an emergency ordinance, I think in 2014 and then 2015, and I don't think it's changed since then. It allows people to take trees down and plant them somewhere else, but that else place isn't defined, so there isn't any replanting that happens. And then one of the native plant stewards that I worked with at up by Mead School, she said, we have a native growth protection easement. We're not allowed to trim branches or pull weeds or plant anything. She goes, I'm a native plant steward. It's just a rule from King County for native growth protection easement areas. And she would love to do that. So we need to get that code changed. I've said it a number of times. I'm hoping maybe you'll lean on it and get it picked up. The new council will probably be supportive. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mary.
Is there anybody else?
See no one else.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, so then next up is the King Conservation District Canopy Assessment. There's a fact sheet and a discussion, and I'm assuming you're leading that.
Yes.
Okay, good.
All right, just pulling up my document here. Okay. Reason that is not showing the right one. All right. Down, down, down. Okay. Sorry, make this a little bit. Okay. This is not the right agenda. Apologies. Hello. Okay, we're gonna just do it from the internet. Okay. There we go. Used to have.
That's me.
I get the
Mhm.
Jeopardy music
I have
going.
to reload it 2 or 3 times on my phone sometimes.
Yes. Okay, all right, there we go. I'm used to having like 3 screens in front of me here.
Mhm.
Okay, so I want to provide you all a little bit of background on this work before we dive into it. The King Conservation District is a organization that we work with that Sammamish is a part of that helps provide grant funding to member jurisdictions. So King Conservation District offers canopy assessments to each of their member jurisdiction cities on kind of a rolling basis. So they try to update each of the tree canopies for their member jurisdiction cities using some of their city funding. So they have specific grants that are available to cities to do this type of work. And we were very fortunate to be able to get on the list for this most recent year. One thing to note, which you'll see here in this data, is that King Conservation District uses a subcontractor, Planet Geo, that uses some national databases to get the data, and it takes a long time to process that data, and then make sure that we have the proper flyovers in the right annual intervals. So when cities get canopy assessments like this, often you're not getting the current year's data, you're getting data from a year or 2 prior that has since been scrubbed and analyzed and made into a form that is really usable for planners and GIS teams alike. So today we're going to be looking at the findings of that tree canopy assessment it was a citywide tree canopy assessment, which is different than the right-of-way tree study that you all had received a presentation on previously. The right-of-way tree study was looking at individual trees along the streetscape and city-owned right-of-way properties. And that was looking at individual tree species, tree maintenance requirements, and health status. And that was to help our maintenance crews to bring our tree species up to the best health level that they could and assess which species we currently have in our streetscape. So the right-of-way tree study looked at individual trees and individual tree health and attributes. This tree canopy assessment is citywide and is not looking at individual trees. It is not a tree inventory. It is an overall canopy assessment. So the difference there, the right-of-way tree study is an individual tree inventory for city-owned right-of-way property. The canopy assessment is looking at overall canopy from aerial data sets. So, any questions on that first? Okay, great. So this tree canopy assessment was really great because it showed us the tree canopy change from both 2017 through 2023. So we can see, how things have been going, how things have changed, and where the areas are for improvement. And this was a really great study to have done prior to the urban forest management plan update that we have scheduled for later this year. So getting into it, this was available to all of you, so I'm not gonna read through everything, but the main points here. Overall, we have 54% tree canopy cover in Sammamish. This is one of the highest numbers in King County. You can see here behind us, Mercer Island, Newcastle, Woodinville, all with around 50% tree cover or just below. So Sammamish is looking really great compared to some of our neighbors in King County and in the broader region. That being said, there is still some room for improvement and growth. So if you look here, we have kind of the tree canopy assessment by census block. So you can see the areas of the city that have that lower tree canopy cover. Part of that is due to commercial areas, multifamily areas, or different kind of the layout of the geography and the residents and the housing in that area. So this ties into our tree giveaway, which we'll get into a little bit later in the year, because we're really trying to target some of those lighter green areas and bring up that tree equity so that those areas that are darker and have higher tree canopy are a little bit more balanced out with the areas that have lower tree canopy. What you can see here is we have about 20% of plantable space available in the city as of 2023. So that is what we're really targeting for our tree giveaway later this year. 96% of the plantable area in Sammamish is residential. So while our parks do have some plantable space and there are some civic areas and city-owned land that does have an opportunity for tree planting that we are going to be looking at with the urban forest management plan, what this study really shows is the need for resident participation. As we talk about a lot with the climate action plan, due to the makeup of Sammamish, it is really important for the city to continue to partner with our residents to be able to move the needle and make a positive impact on our environment. We can absolutely lead the way with our tree care and tree maintenance practices and getting residents to plant on private property where the city cannot. It is a really powerful opportunity for us here. So you can see a couple of the different areas in the city, right? Kind of broken down by our different zoning. Different percentages here, and just some data to really look at that we'll be using that will help inform that urban forest management plan update. And I know we heard today about tree code from Mary. That is something else that is on the work plan, is a tree code update. So we're really trying to do that in parallel with the urban forest management plan update and really give that plan the attention that it deserves, knowing that we've had a number of changes over the years since that was passed in 2019. So we're really looking to update that, given our new data sets, given some best practices, and make sure that it's really aligned with, staffing capabilities, and it's something that is really achievable for the city. And part of that will be looking at tree canopy goals, and whether that's in specific areas and zoning or across the city as a whole. Yes.
Okay, so I have a quick question. This is really good. Like it says, 153 acres of canopy gained from 2017 to 2023.
Mm-hmm.
Are you attributing that to the tree giveaway?
No.
Okay, what is that?
So-
How did that increased by that much? That's a lot.
Yeah, so that's a great point, Christy. So we have a 54% overall canopy cover. And what we have seen from 2017 to 2023 is growth. And a lot of that comes from growth in the canopy itself. So as trees mature, get older, get larger, their canopies expand.
Oh, they're counting.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
So we're
I thought
looking-
they're counting trees planted.
Yeah, so that's what's interesting about a
Okay,
tree
okay.
inventory compared to a tree canopy.
Okay, so this
assessment.
is how much the tree is covering.
Yes, this is looking at
The area.
coverage, both actual canopy and
Oh.
herbaceous shrub area. And then it does also look at impervious surfaces, which are not plantable because they're parking lots, etc. So we have seen Sammamish is moving in a positive direction in terms of our canopy growing, continuing to mature, maintaining the health of our canopy. And something that's important to recognize is as we get more development, there are going to be areas in the city where there are not as many trees. What's important to think about is the city as a whole, looking at, right, those civic areas are relatively small compared to the land area and overall canopy cover. So we're trying to strike that balance between taking care of and planting more in the areas where trees are being removed, and also allowing room for the growth, affordable housing, and progress that Sammamish has made over the last couple of years and will continue to make into the future. So this is giving us a really good snapshot in time of where we're at, how we're doing, and we want to keep that momentum going in parallel with the development that the city does need to accommodate.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
There's a tract here where I live.
Mhm.
And I know what the trees are like there.
Mhm.
One would think. And it's uniformly colored at 56 to 65%.
Mhm.
Now, maybe my lot's at 50%. Maybe my neighbor's is at across the street is at 80%. And between me and 228 is Highcroft, and they're at 5%.
Mhm.
And in the corner there, 228th and 24th, is Discovery Elementary, and they're 0.
Mhm.
So is that color an
I
average?
see. That's a
Yes.
good point. That's a good
Mhm.
point.
That is an average. So one thing that we did get through this canopy cover assessment is our data added to King Conservation District's canopy viewer. So you'll see here a list of cities on the right. These are all cities that are member jurisdictions of King Conservation District, of which Sammamish has recently been added. So prior to this month, if you went on this canopy viewer, you actually couldn't see Sammamish as a city because our data had not yet been processed and uploaded. So I'll just take you through this real quick. There are a couple different tools available, but what's really great about this is that you can actually look down at a pretty granular level.
Figured out the hex view, that's probably pretty granular.
Let's see.
Dude,
Did that
under
happen?
selected geography, you do like hex.
So you can actually look
Oh.
at,
Wow.
it'll
okay.
take a little bit to load here, but
Yeah.
you can look at a very granular level. So
Mhm.
Steve, you're completely correct that that census block that was included in the tree canopy assessment is an average. However, we do have the data to this granular.
That's me.
But
So
Great.
like yours is brighter or darker green.
so you'll,
Yeah.
yeah, so you'll
But
see.
Discovery's whiter, but then
Right.
they average the color.
Well,
A bigger-
Discovery would be that. This is Discovery right here.
Oh, this one, yeah.
And that little box there is probably, I'm guessing, no, I wouldn't,
The corner.
but the yellow box that's like 2 up, that's Highcroft.
Oh, so they
Mhm.
cut down a lot of
Yeah.
trees.
But that's in this area, this is supposedly 56%, so
Because the
I
average of that
see.
region is.
we're, I guess my error is bringing the average up.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay,
interesting.
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I don't know why it reset just then, but yeah, so I encourage you all to kind of play around with this if you're curious. We'll be getting a little bit more into this with the urban forest management plan work, but really what this is an externally facing tool for exactly what you're describing, Steve, for folks to look and say, how am I doing? How is my neighborhood doing? How are my neighbors doing? And how is the city doing as a whole?
Can we look at Kalani real quick?
Yeah.
Just to see?
The question
Look
I
at the
got,
parcel level.
Mary talked about native growth protection easements. That goes counter to one of the ways you control fires in an area like the Woolly, like we live in. You want to clean out the undergrowth.
Mhm.
So if you're prevented from doing that, you're increasing the fire hazard.
Interesting.
Okay, let's see.
You want to go back to parcels? We have subdivisions, which is Summerwood, Kahani.
Oh, I was hoping, well, I was hoping we'd see a lot by Yellow Lake, but I'm
Well,
not seeing that.
There's Yellow Lake, isn't
Oh,
that
there
it?
it is. Oh, I thought it would be.
This is by
greener.
subdivision.
Yeah, is,
Cause there is.
So there you go. So there's
Oh, I
Yellow Lake.
see.
Okay.
Okay, okay.
A couple different filters here. But it's really fun to play around with. So you can really see, like, for example, for our tree giveaway, encouraging folks to come here and look and say, okay, wow, my neighborhood needs some more trees. Let me band with my neighbors and let's each get a tree at the tree giveaway and we'll have a planting party.
What trees are you giving away?
We have a catalog online. There's a
Okay.
lot.
Like, it's not just humongous evergreens.
No, we
Okay,
have a
I was
good
gonna say,
combination.
That's hard for some people to do that.
Yeah, we have a good combination. That technically has not launched yet, but I will send you all an email. It
Okay.
launches tonight at midnight, and you'll be able to get access to the tree catalog, register to get a tree, and then we'll be doing a lot of outreach for that at Kwahani on
Good.
Saturday.
Okay.
So let me go back here. Yeah, so I just kind of wanted to show you all, this tool is a bit in depth. There is a 5-minute video tutorial that I can follow up with if you all would like to kind of play around. But what this really does, this is the view tool. So you can really see, okay, I only want to see areas of Sammamish that have 70% or higher tree canopy. Or, okay, let's really see and focus on the areas that have 40% or below. So it really allows us to do some targeted outreach and engagement with the community, which will be hugely beneficial when it comes to the urban forest management plan. And you can see there's shrub, potential planting area. So you can really play around with some of these bars. So, okay, look, I want to look at areas that have below 40% tree canopy, but have over 50% possible planting area.
It's a pretty narrow section.
Pretty narrow section. You can know, okay, these are the neighborhoods that we really need to be focusing on, or change those criteria to give yourself a little bit more options. We also have a plan tool, which is very similar. So you can see, okay, I want to look at areas that have low existing tree canopy, possible urban tree canopy. You can filter by income. And so it really just gives you a couple different ways to view this data, interact with it, and then make it applicable to the projects that we have coming up.
So what will we have on Saturday to market this?
Yeah, so I have some flyers, and the flyers and the little sign that we have will have, it says free tree giveaway, scan this QR code to come learn more.
And the free tree giveaway is like I can go on it, see a catalog, a variety of trees, small and large.
Yes,
That would fit
exactly.
That's good.
Yeah.
are these gonna all be evergreens or?
No, she said no.
Not all of them are evergreens. Like we do have some rhododendrons.
Because that's not, a lot of places can't fit those huge trees, right? Like,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? That's why I was wondering, I'm like, what is the tree? So that's good, they have variety.
Yeah, if you're living in high crop, where are you gonna put a fir that could be 80 feet high and
Mhm,
a foot in diameter in 30 years
mhm,
with roots that are ripping up your driveway?
mhm.
Do we have outreach on like where people are able to plant these trees with like different laws, saying like their trees can or can't be planted?
So if you register for the tree giveaway, you do have a number of clicks that you need to go through in terms of a disclaimer and agreement. Oh, hi, I was just in.
To listen for a minute.
Yeah,
I was thinking it was at 6:30, so sorry.
No worries.
Well, sorry, what was the question?
Let's through first giveaway.
Yes. So we do ask that folks who are registering for the tree giveaway plant the tree on their own property. If they're a renter, they do need to get landlord permission. And if they're part of an HOA, they are responsible for checking with their HOA. So these are not trees that you're planting anywhere in the city. This is trees that you're planting on your own lot, which is trying to get at the residential tree canopy planting potential percentage.
And when they get these trees, are they like this big?
Yeah, they're
Okay.
usually in 4 to 6 gallon or 4 to 6 inch gallon
Okay,
pots.
4 to 6.
Um,
And you can only get one per house?
You can get one per household, but there is an opportunity to add a second bonus tree, which are of those larger species that you had mentioned. This tree catalog is really helpful because it will tell you, the growth rate, how high it
Oh,
could
this-
get.
Oh.
Mhm. So this is the resource that we're helping direct folks to as they're thinking about what tree might be a good fit for their property. And then we're giving that free, they're free anyway, but the additional second, the option for the second tree is to really encourage folks to plant those high growth, tall, wider canopy
You're gonna
trees.
send us this?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay,
This will be available on the website too.
okay.
So the tree canopy application for, or the free tree giveaway application form will link to this catalog.
And how do you get your tree? You have to drive somewhere and get it?
Yeah, the tree application is basically you reserving your tree. We are having about 300 trees available to folks at the giveaway between Issaquah and Sammamish. We have 650 total trees. And once you register, you add your email, and then the pickup day is November 7th. So folks could come anytime. I believe that it's 9 to 1 p.m. that folks can come and pick up those trees.
That's cool.
Yeah. And so it's going to be at Pickering Barn in Issaquah because they have the space to accommodate that. And there's an opportunity to get free wood chips as well to help insulate the ground and pull back some of the weeds as they're growing.
What was the day you said?
November 7th.
Could we go on even now and order it?
The form doesn't go live until midnight.
Okay.
So this is kind of me giving you an early heads up. We'll be talking about this a little bit more in September.
I know, I want to go.
Yeah, very exciting. So that's our first outreach opportunity for the tree giveaway is on Saturday at Kahani Days. And then the subsequent farmers markets that we'll be at, as well as the Sustainable Sammamish Farmers Market on August 5th.
Okay.
The tree giveaway form is open from July 10th through August 31st. If we do sell out of trees before then, we will close the form. Information on the giveaway is going to be posted on socials over the next month or two. It will also be available in the August newsletter hitting mailboxes the week of August 10th. So that'll be a good opportunity for us to kind of check in and see how we're doing in terms of those signups. And if we do need to extend that date into September, we absolutely can, given that the tree giveaway isn't happening until November. Issaquah did sell out of trees last year. That was their first year doing this. They had also estimated about 300 trees. So we're going for that again this year. They've given that extra buffer of 50 trees. And then if this all goes well, we can up that number for future years.
Cool.
Yeah. So you'll see here, there's a lot of tree options. And then you've got details.
great.
So you can even see pictures. This is a really, really wonderful guide. Steve, this might be helpful for you with the deers in your yard. But I highly encourage you all to browse this. And again, it will be going live at midnight tonight. So this is kind of giving you an early heads up. You can scan the QR code and register for a free tree of your own at Kahani Days tomorrow, or visit the website. Sorry, Kahani Days on Saturday, or visit the website tomorrow. And more information will be coming. So as we get signups, we'll probably provide you all with an update in September of how this went, how things are going. And we do have some specific census blocks that we're targeting that had those lower tree canopy numbers. So we'll be updating on that too, saying how many percentage of the tree applicants are from those target census block areas.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Once people sign up, is there like a process before they actually are approved to get the tree, or is it just they sign up and they get the thing?
Yeah, the application form does vet. So you do have to put in your address, you do have to put in your contact information, you do have to accept the different disclaimers. And then we're partnering with nonprofit 300 Trees that is helping kind of project manage this and also manage the ordering of the trees. And then they're the ones who set up the tracking system as well that I was mentioning for the tree canopy target areas. They are really wonderful and keep track of all that for us. That's cool. Did that answer your question? Perfect.
So is this an area where residents have the highest impact over anyone else, like parks or anything? Like, could we market it that way, that it's you have the highest impact in this area?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So that's partly the message that we're going to be sharing on Saturday is, plant a tree. Come help the city. The flyers, let's see if I can screen share here. I can show you all flyer while I have it. This is what we'll be bringing on Saturday. Join the city as we grow a greener future.
Nice. Skin for a free tree.
That sucks. So that's what we'll have. We'll have it on one of those upright, clear sleeves on the table. And then we'll also have some to hand out if folks are not wanting to wait in line for the wheel. Cool. Any other questions? Just wanted to give you all that heads up, given that the forum opens tomorrow, in speaking with the community members and groups that you all are parts of. Definitely appreciate spreading the word, post it on Nextdoor. But also I think having it in the newsletter that goes out in August will be a really great opportunity for more registrations.
Very
Just
cool.
ask one more question.
Yeah, of course.
I'm wondering, actually, I did just forget my question. But it'll come back.
It'll come back for sure.
I might want to get some hard copies of the flyer for you at some point.
Sure.
To pass out to some of the people that I do gardening with.
Yeah, if you stick around tonight, I can print some, and actually I'll run and grab some in just a second here. Because I need to print myself one of the guides before we get into that discussion.
I did just remember my question.
Perfect.
Okay, so I'm wondering, after people have the trees, do we have any way to follow up with them to make sure they're taking good care? And like, besides the guide where they'll have all the information, what other resources are we providing them?
Absolutely. Yeah. So we're going to have a couple links on the website. And then once folks sign up for the tree giveaway, they're going to be getting reminder emails and informational emails. So not only reminders about the tree pickup that they need to come get their trees, but also reminders about watering. There is a whole on the actual application, which I can't show you till it goes live. There is a section on tree care. There's some external links to videos, and then reminders like you need to water your tree every week within the first couple of months. How to use the wood chips. And then we are partnering with Issaquah on a tree care 101 kind of seminar workshop in October. So after folks sign up, they can come to that in October and then get their tree in early November. And then Issaquah last year, I believe, did send a follow-up because when you register, you do need to add your email. They sent a mini survey to folks asking how they were doing, seeing if they needed any support and additional resources. So we plan to do that as well.
Excellent.
Yeah, great question.
Are you ready to go on?
Yeah, any other questions on the tree canopy assessment? I think I moved through that kind of quickly, but it's really something that I want to give you all time to peruse into. And then if you have questions, we can absolutely revisit, or that can be included on the commissioner Q&A matrix in the future as well.
A quick question. Do you know if it's either on some of that or just if you have it offhand, the city's total acreage? Like
Yes. Don't know it off the top.
because I found a number online, but I wanted to double check it.
Yes. Thought that it was on that document. Okay, it's not actually on this document, but I will get you that number. We have the total canopy acres.
Yes.
We don't have the total acres of the city.
What is the total canopy acres?
Just over 6,500.
Okay.
Okay, anybody else? Everybody's good? Okay,
Perfect.
so then the next one is the Sustainability Sammamish Guide. Do you want to
Perfect.
talk about that?
Yes. Let's take a brief 5-minute break so that I can go grab the tree canopy flyers and another set of this. I wasn't sure if you were coming tonight, so I didn't have enough printed. I try to avoid printing when I can, but I think tonight this will be really helpful for our work sessions on this. So feel free to take the next couple of minutes just to look through the sustainability guide for the second draft that we have that the graphic designer provided. And I will be right back.
If you do some math, according to that, that's the number of acres of trees and the percent.
Yeah, I did some of that as well.
With about 13,200 acres in the city.
Okay.
But the thing you gotta be aware of is a lot of the acreage in the city it's reported as a lake.
Not from the check that I was from what the number, because the number that I found online was 15,000 acres, and that was not counting that was like
Not counting the lake?
not counting the
Okay.
it was noted that there were like a few acres of internal lakes, like internal water surface being covered, but that number wasn't counting the lake. So my guess is this the 13,000 also wouldn't be counting Lake Sammamish. That's actually probably that 13,000 might just be the number that I found minus the like smaller lake surface. More idle curiosity than anything else.
Yeah.
I was curious, like, okay, 153 acres, like that is a huge increase of how much is that proportionally? And
I've
yeah,
heard
it's
the
about
city is
1 to
about
2%.
24 square miles,
Yes, that was the number that I found as well.
but that,
That comes out to 15,000 acres. I already did a bunch of that.
That's a
okay,
But it doesn't.
I did a
account-
bunch of this while we were
it-
talking.
It doesn't account for how many went down in that windstorm, right?
No, because it's
well,
before the
Rachel told us the city lost about 500 trees.
but that number doesn't, we can
But there's-
estimate a canopy coverage, but we don't know for
They're,
sure.
they're a minor landholder in this city.
Yeah, there's a lot of numbers that we won't have for that until this assessment.
Oh, okay, sorry, yeah, I just had some sudden, I just wanted to get a feel in ideas.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, what we would wanna do is do a motion to open up public comment and then we can do a second and then just.
Okay.
Sure.
So does anybody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion, we reopen public comment.
second.
So it looks like it passed.
Any opposition? No, perfect, all right.
Is that okay?
Yeah,
It won't take
okay.
that much of
Do you
your
mind
time.
just also signing?
Yes,
just final
totally.
record of that
Yeah.
as well?
My apologies, everyone, I always come at
Okay.
6:30 for city council.
yeah, I was gonna say that's normal city council time, so it totally
So I
makes
just,
sense.
this is my head. Here, I'll talk to you first and then I'll sign it.
Yeah.
Do you want me to sit here or up there?
Wherever you feel
Okay,
most comfortable,
okay.
typically folks sit at the front.
Thank you for being here. So I'm Denise Darnell. I'm the school counselor at Discovery Elementary up the road, and I've come to lots of stuff, and I've met Rose before, and I do the green team at my school. And so just wanted to say I love that you guys are doing this guide. And just from my work with students and families and talking to people at restaurants and things, I wanted to just tell you what I first noticed in the past guides is it's pretty vague. And I think it would be really helpful to assume that people know nothing and then teach them from there. For example, it would be, I've talked to people before, like composting, you can put your compost or your food in your green waste. And so even teaching people what that means, that if you have a green waste from Republic, you can add food for free. You can put your compost in there, and then having some kind of graphic that shows them what food they can put in there. So like the past guide, I think just when I was cruising it last year, it just says, don't forget, compost your food. But not everybody knows what that is. And I think especially because we have so many wonderful multicultural families that have moved to Sammamish, that have come from India or Ethiopia or Egypt, they don't know because they don't really compost in those countries. So teaching them what compost means. And then going on to compost, that is sort of the number one thing that individuals like us can do to make a difference in our world, is to compost. So considering explaining what compost is, having a picture of everything they can compost, and explaining that it doesn't cost extra for their green waste, and then having a whole page just for compost if you could, or at least a half a page where it's recycling compost instead of it just being a one line. Just from working with these families myself, a lot of people don't know about recycling and composting like we expect them to. So I just sort of wanted to mention that, like having it be really detailed, like instead of just saying hazardous waste clinic or whatever, like having the QR code and explaining what that is. What is hazardous waste? Like a lot of people don't even know what that means. And then my last thing, and then I'll stop talking, is trying to have like little facts throughout it. So we had sort of, my sister and I were talking about this and having it be, I know you've met Lisa before, like a, did you know little category, like up at the top, did you know 40% of food waste ends up in, or landfills have 40% food waste. Did you know a glass bottle lasts for 1 million years if it's not recycled? Did you know that if you put your styrofoam in your blue can, it's thrown away, it's not recyclable? And then giving options of where to take things. one of the other did you knows is a lot of Sammamish residents don't realize that we can take some stuff to the Recology store in Issaquah for free. I don't know if any of you have been to the Recology store. It's every time that a city has Recology, they can have a store. So in Issaquah, even though we're not Recology, we can bring our thread cycle there for free. And there's some other things that they have as a list that Sammamish residents can bring for a cost. So even mentioning that too might be helpful. Anyway, those are like my 4 things to mention to you. So thank you. I do feel excited about your new guide. I'm sure it'll be really good. And thank you in advance for all your work for doing it.
Yeah,
Thanks for
thank you.
listening.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll stay a little bit I wrote about the tree giveaway so I can tell my friends. So I'll just stay and listen for a little bit longer.
Yeah, and you know that we can't respond to you.
Yes, just
But,
like
yeah,
city council.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
I'm used to
Thank
that.
you.
Okay.
And I teach green team at my school.
What
Yeah,
school are you in?
at Pacific Cascade.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
thank you. I
Oh, I'm
appreciate
glad.
it.
I did not very many middle schools do that. So that's awesome. Oh, good. Thank you for this.
Thank you,
Okay,
Denise.
I'll sign in. Thanks for letting me jump in.
It helps that it was very much related to the agenda.
Well
Usually, yeah.
So we're gonna just continue on this now.
Continue with the agenda.
Yes, yeah. So the actual review cycle, those key dates have not changed by much. I'm just giving a little bit more leeway with the back and forth with the graphic designer to make sure that we can incorporate all of these changes and updates. So yeah, I think at the last meeting we kind of were just going around at each page, each section. I think we can continue doing that. I made sure to leave some extra time on the agenda, so hopefully we don't get cut short. But I just want to kind of have an early disclaimer. Obviously, this is still in draft form. There are some sections that you'll see have been left blank that the graphic designer is still working on. So just recognizing that as we go through. All right. And I want to thank those of you who have already sent photos in and quotes in. You'll see I've put some placeholders for folks who have not yet sent that in. The deadline is tomorrow, and then I'll start chasing you down individually if I haven't heard from you. But like I mentioned, we've got a little bit more time in here to make sure that we're really updating this in a way that feels good. Okay, well, we can start on page 2, the introduction, if folks have any comments, and then we'll just take it page by page. We'll kind of go one at a time, maybe just do round robin style. And what I'm thinking is I'll be writing down some comments on these guides so that I can send the graphic designer photos of some of the changes. Sometimes it's hard to describe via email what exactly we're looking for. So I'm going to try to do that. And then if you have specific like graphics or things that you add to your guide, if I could just collect these from you at the end. Otherwise, it's really just so that we can all workshop together. Great. Whoever wants to start, feel free.
One quick thought, and this kind of goes across the first 2 pages, is it's a lot of words for the first pages, and it's a lot of words. It's especially the first page. It's too small font.
Okay.
I'm a little concerned about how small the font is, just for readability. And I do like starting with what is the city doing. That sets a very good precedent of like that sets a baseline. The city is already doing things. This is for you to, this is now for the residents to take up some of their own action. I think that's good. I just don't know that we need as much overall because it's a lot for the first page.
I agree with Swan. I love the way this is written. If it's possible to condense some of it, I think that could be helpful. But I also really like the idea of bolding some keywords, like the climate action plan and the urban forest management plan. I think those words should be definitely bolded, and then some other key points in there, just so people can find us more easily.
Just a quick layout thing for it has UFMP at the bottom. Is that for the section above it?
The UFMP, so you can see the climate action plan progress. Those are spaced for graphics.
Okay.
So the bar chart that Stephanie had kind of shown an example of last time, the graphic designers working on making it cute with some like leaves. And I haven't seen the rendition yet, but she understands what we're looking for. So that's going to show the progress on each of the actions in the climate action plan. And it's also going to show the progress on the actions in the urban forest management plan. Because while the urban forest management plan does need an update, a lot of great work has been done and progress has been made, so we want to make sure that
Mhm.
that's clear to folks.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, so there'll be a similar bar graph for the UFMP.
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, but there's less sections in the UFMP, which is why it's a smaller space.
Okay.
Yeah. Brian, Steve, Christy?
Christy, it sounded like you might have had something.
Well, I was gonna say, what goes here? And you.
Perfect. How do folks feel about maybe getting rid of that first paragraph? I think it's really well written and helpful, but I do agree that it's pretty wordy. And folks may immediately skip down to what is the city doing?
I think you could say that in the first sentence. I don't know if you need all the other
It
sentences.
could probably be reduced. I think having something there, just even if a lot of people don't read it, having something there is good just for setting. Just again, like a lot of what the first page we want to be doing is just setting the baseline for what this is about. And so even if not everyone is going to read it, we still want to have a bit of a definition of like what is this actually going to be talking about? What is sustainability? And maybe the rest of it could either could be trimmed down or it could be spread out to other sections.
Well, I think you could, rather than get rid of it,
Mm-hmm.
Cut out.
then the message that is there is you want to let them know what sustainability is about. So I did a little bit of editing here. I say sustainability is the ability, just take out by definition,
Mm-hmm.
the ability to meet present needs without compromising future generations, period. This guide contains practical recommendations for residents and community members. Actually, you don't need community members in there.
Yes, it could just be residents.
To make a positive impact on Sammamish's natural environment, period.
Okay.
Yep. And then if there's still like trailing room on the line, you could either leave it blank for visuals, or you could potentially fit in that last sentence, just depending on spacing. Like I don't think it's a necessary line, but it is a nice little call to action. So if there is good spacing for it, it could be something extra to include.
Can you say that one more time?
The last sentence, like if there is visual spacing for it, it can be nice to include a little call to action like that.
Yeah.
It's not necessary, but just if there is space to fill, that could be a good space to fill.
Yeah. Got it. Thank you.
Mhm.
One little thing that I'd like to see as well is instead of bullet points, having it be leaves.
Yes.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so having it be leaves, just trying to make it a little bit more visually appealing so it's not a wall of text,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely.
I think instead of starting it like this, you could have like a table of contents so like the people could refer they like forgot what the city was doing for greenhouse gas emissions, so they could just flip to that page instead of searching through them and just flipping the page.
Yeah, if there's room for that, I think that's a good idea.
Could also just be used to help visually break up the page, even if it's not doesn't need a ton of space. It could just as a visual blocker sort of thing.
Yeah.
Because this is small enough that it's not necessarily necessary, but it could be used as for the visuals.
I think I think in general I'm gonna rework the what is the city doing for the environment to try to be less wordy. I think less is more in these.
I'll withhold like full judgment on it until like we have the bars, like all those graphs in place. The headers do feel a little bit off to me, because this first bit is talking about the cap, and then we have the same header level for the cap progress, and then we have no header for the UFMP, and then the same header level for the UFMP progress, and that's throwing my brain off visually because I'm seeing climate action plan progress, and then I'm seeing a bunch of stuff about the UFMP under the same header.
Subheadings.
Yeah, either subheadings or maybe the cap and the UFMP progress are lower header, just some sort of
maybe not bolded. Could be as simple as not bolding.
Just some sort of either additional subheaders or header level adjustments might be good.
Absolutely.
It could even just be something as simple as like taking the two progress ones, making those subheaders, and then adding another header for the UFMP section.
Yeah. Any other feedback on this page? Please feel free to email me if you think of anything. I'm also happy to meet and kind of talk through. I've already met with Juan and Stephanie individually and got some really great feedback that we'll be incorporating into the next draft. So
this may not always be doable, but just four bullet points, keeping them to one line when possible, especially if it's a short trail or a short tail. It makes it a lot easier to read through them, because then you're not getting lost between the lines.
You make the font a little bigger too. If you
Yeah,
cut down the words.
or how this looks can vary depending on the formatting, but like table, like block, like alternating color type stuff won't always look good, but could be an option for some of them.
for the bullets.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just like having if you auto generate like a table and something, it'll have alternating lines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. I just want to make sure you were talking about for the bullet points and not for the like full sections.
I was thinking about it for the bullet points. Obviously, it could also work for the full sections, but that has less visual impact.
Okay. Moving on to the greenhouse gas emissions page, I just want to note a couple of things. For the tree graphic here, I would like to make the total core emissions a little bit easier to read and distinguish, like that we're actually making positive progress by them decreasing.
I want them reversed.
Yep. And then the other thing that we would like to put in here is the tree canopy. So that visual that we just saw, putting some of the tree canopy numbers in these leaves as well. This was something that Stephanie and I previously talked about. You know, we're talking about the climate action plan and the urban forest management plan, but this page is mostly focused on emissions. So we do want to include some data from the UFMP work as well.
You might need a second tree.
I don't know what, like, there's no units on these. So when I look at this, I'm like, what are you showing?
Yeah.
Yeah, you need units.
Yep.
Numbers got to mean something.
Yeah.
Similar sort of thing to what Stephanie had for like highlighting the big stuff. I definitely think highlighting core emissions decreased by 12%.
Yeah.
That's a very like that, because like that line, especially because it's right below like what the cap is setting as the goal. Here's where we are in that progress.
Not to be picky about this, but do we need to modify emissions with the word core?
True.
That was something that I have been kind of going back and forth on. The reason that it's currently written as core emissions is because if you actually look at King County's emissions data, they include some of the emissions that we are not currently accounting for in our climate action plan, specifically aviation.
Yeah.
So core emissions exclude aviation. But I do think that's something that we could clarify on, like if we link to a QR code that goes to the website and that report, I do agree that it's kind of
Is that how we, in the climate action plan? Because I made this point when it was being written, I was a little bit upset that we were not including aviation. And the Brightworks consultants said, we're doing scope 2 plus, and that was their excuse for leaving out the aviation numbers. Because aviation numbers are really scope 3.
So what are you looking for in this?
So, okay, I can live with core, but I'm wondering how clear we make that in our climate action plan, because that's our governing document. Where we probably ought to.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, I think keep that kernel for when we do the climate action plan update, because we do plan to do more of an administrative update to the climate action plan, which is exactly what you're getting at. Instead of doing a full overhaul, we're looking at our data, we're tweaking some of the wording and some of the description that play into the actual. We're not necessarily resetting the goals, but we're looking at where are we at now? What is the new data and information that we have? And what are some lessons learned from our first couple of years of implementation?
Because I have heard in various forums, city council being one, some of our more savvy residents are aware that we're not including aviation.
Mhm.
And I don't think the document, our climate action plan, explains it that well, if at all.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely think that's something
Okay.
we could look at for the update, maybe adding an extra page to that document as a descriptor.
I have a comment, and I might have missed this when you might have said this, but I'm not a fan of, if you're showing a decrease, putting them in tree leaves.
No, I
does not
agree.
make
Yeah.
any
Yeah.
sense to me.
My-
You're gonna put in a graph with
My-
the data?
So what I'd like to see with the graphic designer is to have this tree be the UFMP tree canopy assessment. This is kind of the tree stuff.
Put that here?
No, put the UFMP, sorry, not these bars, but like the numbers 54% tree canopy, 2% tree canopy increase, 96% residential planting opportunity. And then next to this chart, which I would like to see, instead of having these pulled out, actually having them overlapping in the pie chart so it takes up less space.
Pictures and symbols.
And then next to it, I want a bar graph like this
With these
with the emissions numbers.
total emissions.
So, so you're putting, so this is continued onto this page with the tree. This topic
No, this topic will look
UFMP.
like this.
with
So
a tree here.
The UFMP stuff at the bottom, because that's gonna have.
No, I know what she's saying, putting the data in the tree, and I'm like, that's on a.
Different
tree
data.
canopy assessment data, the stuff we looked at earlier today.
The urban forest management plan progress is how many
Okay.
actions have we completed out of the,
So you want to include tree canopy data in the greenhouse gas emission progress.
yes, but we will no longer be calling this greenhouse gas emissions.
Okay, you're gonna call it,
This will be a subheading. This will be greenhouse gas sorry, I should have probably led with this. Greenhouse gas emissions progress, urban forest management data, right here.
Okay.
And I think we need to change the title of this entire page to something engaging and creative. What does the data say?
Yeah.
Maybe that's the title. What does the data say?
I would have to see it, because it seems like too much on one page.
Okay.
Too much, it seems like you, too many topics you're showing, too many data tables and of too many, it's like tree canopy, and then you're talking about, this does not have anything to do, you're not mentioning trees at all in this.
Yeah.
So it seems like that you're, and then my thing looks like a paragraph, I mean, it was only like 3 sentences. It just, I feel like it's too much, it's too many topics on one
Kind of
page.
gappy, really.
I know, it's like 2 sentences or 3 sentences, but it just looks like so big, I don't know, it's too. I don't, are you limited by the number of pages, like you
We
want,
can only have 12 pages.
okay, you're trying to fit it all on 12 pages.
If we do wanna put, could we move the GHG, like that graphs, like that pie chart and all that to this page and move the UFMP stuff to the second page? Not certain that will work, but just that way it's less separate topics per page, because the greenhouse gas stuff falls under the cap pretty easily. And then the tree canopy stuff falls under the UFMP pretty easily.
How do both feel about that?
I didn't hear,
So
sorry.
moving the greenhouse gas, like progress and pie chart and all that.
I like his idea, because the other problem I got with this chart, that's a static chart for one of our years.
Yes.
One of these, right? Those percentages likely will change depending on which one of those you pick.
I see what you're saying.
So you might need,
This
some
was
sort
the
of
most
diagram.
recent, so this is 2023.
okay. So that's but
You can make this stuff
2019 data,
here and this stuff here, so that way this is all like cap and greenhouse gas, and then this is trees.
But it's still too much on a page, you're like talking about, what's the city doing, and shoving down here, it's too much. I feel it's too much, like I almost feel like you almost need to like reduce some of these, like keep the pictures, because those are really, grab people, but like, look at that, like, this is well done, this is like only this topic, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this is this topic gets 2 pages, and now here we're shoving on some of the biggest things. You know what I'm saying? This is getting a lot of top pages.
well,
You see what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
the gas emissions, like that's a pretty
one of
big.
the issues I've got is this is the worst offender. And the hardest, I've always said, this is gonna be the hardest
Yeah.
to wean ourselves off of. My suspicion is this piece of the pie was smaller in 2019. But because our emissions have gone down, they haven't gone down necessarily because we've been ridding ourselves of natural gas appliances, but they've gone down because we've made some of the other pieces smaller. So that percentage is gonna increase. So there's a message there you can give. Hey,
Yes.
people, you gotta get off natural gas.
And people have come to us to talk about some pumps at our booth.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's missing from this, like, it's not
So this
as big of a
is,
focus.
this is the intro, these two pages we're looking at right now, this is the
Oh,
introduction.
they are.
Yeah,
Okay.
so this is the introduction. What we had heard last year and kind of in our initial conversations was that we wanted to show folks the data and we wanted to actually
Okay,
put
so
some numbers.
Those are both the introduction.
Yeah, so here's the
I'm so
title page.
confused. I thought this, because then you go back to it.
Yeah, so what this is really supposed to be like I know it's a lot of information. It's really supposed to be a one-stop shop of what is the city doing for the environment and how are we doing? What are we doing and how are we?
Yeah.
That's
That's
kind of how we're thinking about these. So this is what are we doing? How are we doing?
Okay.
But what we could do is climate action plan, urban forest management.
Or say that, what are we doing? How are we doing? Because when I look at this, I'm like, okay, she's talking about this introduction, then all of a sudden it's greenhouse gas emissions, like it totally, like now you're going off on something different. I'd almost say like make it like, here's what the city's, I don't know, I do it better than this, but something like, here's what the city's doing, and make it, and then how, and showing
Yeah.
progress.
What are we doing? What's the impact?
And then what can you do is all the rest, right?
Yes, exactly.
So make that more clear in my mind, because otherwise it's like, oh, I see this is what city's doing, and all of a sudden it jumps to this, which is like, where's the heat pump stuff? And like, what is this all about? And why are these numbers on tree leaves? You know what I mean? It's not that, it's hard to. I didn't understand that that's what it was, that those were two introduction pages and then everything else. I'd almost say like maybe your introduction is something like what you said here, sustainability is ability to meet blah, blah, blah. Here's how we use this guide. First two pages are, like he was saying, table of contents, like these first two pages are an introduction, then you'll read on about, here's what we're doing, here's our results so far, and then read on about what you can do at home, like a little. So it's like, oh, okay. Okay. I don't know, a little more, because otherwise I had no idea what this is. And my writing is so much.
I know,
not
these
any one
they all look like a
sentence.
lot,
I think
so.
we need to fix that. It's too much. Like it's like, and who's that person? What are they saying?
Like 2/3 stuff. Because that's not like the full thing that's not the thing you wrote up for this time around, or is it?
It is.
That is, okay.
And then like, what do we really need a third of the page of a one fan? Or an air
Heat pump?
conditioner, heat pump? You know what I mean? Like it just is a weird use of
Yeah, we could
space.
have a whole page.
If I'm a person looking, I thought, oh, why are they showing that? Like, I don't know, just a little more, I don't know, like, a little easier to understand what is happening.
Okay,
That's
Heard.
my thought, sorry.
no, that's completely fine. Heard, I will rework these first two pages based on the feedback from tonight. I absolutely hear what you all are saying. Taken, we'll work with the graphic designer
Yeah.
to try to make this a little bit clearer. Do folks feel like the graphics I know we can't see it right now, but the progress graphics are beneficial? Or, if we took those graphics out, we could rework and it could be a little bit less dense.
The idea behind those graphics is it's showing the number of actions the city has taken over the course of the years.
Yes, so it's showing of all of the 72 actions in the climate action plan. The green, it's a bar graph, so it's the green is how many we've done, the yellow is how many are in progress, and the blue or clear is how many we still have to go. So it's giving folks a visual of the progress bar, kind of like when you're updating a computer and it's loading, like how far are we into our climate action plan implementation? But having spoken with you all, taking some more time looking at this, that was something we liked at the last meeting, which I know we were.
Which was what?
Was having those bars as progress to really show visually where we're at in our climate action plan implementation of the total actions that we have. But we don't have to include that if that's feeling like it would
I
be
think bars of progress, I just think the tree is not a good way to show data.
Okay.
Like, I think the pie chart is like cool and like
Yeah, but I think you need
See
three.
you what?
I think you need three, one for each year.
Yeah.
And I think you should ratio the diameter of the pie based on, you can pick one of these as your normalized value, and the other two should be slightly smaller.
But why is this not shown, when she was talking about changing it as a line graph to show that it's declining,
Yeah, but
right?
the value of this entire pie is 300,658 metric tons.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
value of the pie from 2019 will be slightly bigger.
Maybe she just needs to say the year, based on,
Yeah.
2023.
But the message I would like to see is, I bet this piece of the pie for natural gas for 2019 was a smaller percentage,
I think,
but a bigger number.
I think we're hitting the point where it's going to be too many. It's going to be a critical mass of too many different graphs for people to look at. I think for these, it does make sense, but I think for this, the point of this chart isn't, like, the point of this pie chart isn't to show the change. The point of this pie chart is to show what the current distribution is, and then those numbers are to show that it's overall been decreasing. Yes, we want to talk about how natural gas, like, as a percentage has increased, and like that should be switching, but that can come more with that later section, and we can just have whatever notes of
Yeah,
that. I don't think that needs to. I think that's going to end up filling too much here with things.
Yeah, I agree.
Most people aren't going to benefit.
For a summary, that's probably.
Yeah.
It's probably.
Because the
all
first
the
two
detail
pages,
you
we
need.
want to be more of an overview, like, this is what the city's doing, this is what the benefits, like, this is what the changes have been, high level view. And then if there are things we want to be more granular about, like natural gas and heat pumps, that can go on the pages for the public. If we fit good space for that. But I don't think that we want to, I'm not sure about getting that granular for things that aren't part of the overview.
I'm wondering if it kills two birds with one stone, if to like her talk too, is what about showing, like, first of all, I also realize I need to change this because he basically wrote the same thing.
Yeah, we'll get into that a little later.
But I was wondering, okay, so because I know from my own communications role I have that, like, when people see images of people, that draws their attention, right? So why not put a picture of Steve with his heat pump?
I don't have
Right?
a picture of Steve with his heat
Well,
pump yet.
Steve, like put a picture of me or whoever's our composting person.
You got something
Show
for
me
us, Steve.
things that can go and take a picture, actually putting it in. How about a picture of me doing something, not just standing there with a fork, but like doing the thing. You know what I mean? Like, so it's
This
too.
is actually exactly what we discussed at the last meeting.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. That was kind of what I was trying to get at with my follow-up email to you all for the commissioner spotlight. That's why we have a good amount of space for it. Is ideally we want a call to action, a quote with a photo of you doing the thing.
Okay.
So I clearly don't have that from all. Yeah, but
and that way, then it's a more like, instead of taking up this space, it's you with this heat pump. And then it's like, because you are the face of it. I mean, if I was at the the sustainability booth, I'd come to you because you're the one who is in the picture. Right? Or like you come to whoever because their face is there in the picture.
okay.
Sorry.
I'm gonna try reworking this. Does everyone feel like their comments have been heard for the first couple of pages?
So I do have a couple of really quick things for this one. First, I really like Sean's idea with separating like the climate action plan and UFMP on separate pages. I think that would help us fit in everything a little bit better, just because I think like the tree and the pie chart on this page are a little bit crowded, and it would be better if they're split up. And then I also like Steve's message where we're trying to show like changes in the percent since 2019. So, but I understand like another pie chart is a lot, so we could maybe write that like in parentheses next to each like slice, like decrease this much by since 2019 or increase this much since 2019. Next to each one. That might
Oh.
be
So put it in as a note.
Just like
Yeah, maybe
number
it's more.
dash other number.
Yeah.
yeah, maybe something like that. And then I think for the UFMP part, it would be useful to have that call to action that we talked about, that like planting a tree is like residents have the biggest impact in that area. I think that would be a nice like call to action to have in the guide as well.
I think we could just do a three-way segmented like bar chart instead of pie charts. Like, and just make the columns close together instead of doing a pie chart.
That could also work. The main thing would just be if the percentages I don't think changed that much between.
It's pretty minimal.
Yeah. So that's my main thing is because it is a pie chart, the percentages won't change that much between the years. So it like if there are things we want to highlight about that, I think it makes sense to specifically highlight those points instead of just giving the differences in the numbers. I think we want to say, okay, natural gas like as a percentage has increased because everything else is decreasing. Like we could have it, like if that is what it is for the graph, like we could have a note about that somewhere, but just having the different numbers doesn't tell people why that matters.
Yeah, to go along with that, when you look at the impact of this pie chart is that natural gas area is pretty darn big.
Mhm. Like this already says, oh, we should probably be using less natural gas. That's a huge portion of it.
Yeah.
And that's only the
and
residents.
as we go forward in the next few years, that electricity section is going to decrease dramatically.
Mhm. Yep.
One more little thing on the quote. I remember in last year's guide, like there was a slightly different like style for showing the quote, like a different shape. Have we experimented with that as well? I think it'd be interesting just to see how that looks. If like the quote would be in the corner, then like if we could fit more things, just trying that.
Yeah. Yes, that was actually how the graphic designer had initially put this. I was thinking for the sake of having a different year and having maybe a different format. And also we had talked about doing a larger commissioner spotlight with like shortening the quote, having a bigger photo, right? A photo of Christy riding her bike with a shorter quote. So that's kind of why it's formatted the way that it is. I could ask her to check out a couple different options, but that's where we're at.
I do like the idea of using the commissioner photos like as like having those, because those can at least partially replace some of the other photos that would otherwise be on the page. And so just letting those be the same picture, I think works well for the spacing.
Yeah, but we could play around. It doesn't necessarily have to be a box, right? It could
Yeah.
be a sidebar or a corner area, like a kind of like a bubble in the side, so you still have the tree coming up, and they don't all have to look the same either. We can kind of format it. Like the water one could be a water drop or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do want to be mindful of time. It is 7:20.
Yep.
We're making a lot of progress here.
Please, this is honestly these two pages were where I kind of did need the most guidance because I think we had a lot of great ideas at the last meeting and I tried to cram them all in here and now we need to kind of pare it back a little bit, right?
Which is a good spot to be in for this. Like it's a good midway checkpoint.
Yeah. Okay, we can absolutely come back to that and feel free to follow up with emails this week. Moving on to the next section, energy efficiency and power. Just a couple things before we get too far into it. I really want this home checklist. I like the idea of it. I need it to be reformatted so there's less white space.
Yes.
And I would like it to be bright yellow, kind of like a notepad. So just putting that out there.
Then make the print bold.
Bold. Yeah.
Because you won't be able to read it otherwise.
Yeah. I mean, the simplest fix for that is the header just goes next to the clip and then the text gets shifted up. That's a relatively quick fix for that.
That's good.
And then the only other things were, I would love to switch out these images with
Mhm.
photos from you all. These were, actually the heat pump photo on the second page is from our Energy Smart Eastside program. That is one of our residents who did receive a heat pump. So that is a real photo, but it doesn't have a person. It's not as engaging. So
I'll give you one.
Yeah.
perfect.
And do you want to put his here? Like,
Yeah.
he is talking about this, and I'll take a picture of me turning off the light switch or something. Cause he and I are talking about the exact same thing. So I'm trying to, like, I could do this with my kid and turn off the light switch.
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying? Like, you know what I
Just
mean?
pose like that.
Yeah, do that pose.
Readjust the heat on your smart thermostat.
Yes, I could do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I'm just trying to think, what would I don't know.
So
I mean, I could show an electric car.
The idea here,
Something.
Christy, was a call to action. So it could be a photo of you with the wheel or you holding the guide, go meta. Like, the idea here was you as the commission chair, kind of going into, so here is what is the city doing?
Mhm.
How are we doing? Obviously, we reform it a little bit. And then this is the call to action. You are the call to action as the commission chair.
Oh, okay. Good
Yeah.
to know.
Mhm.
So if
See,
you
this
feel
is why I should never miss a meeting. I'm so sorry.
hey, that's
You're
why
having to
we're doing this.
backtrack.
It's totally fine. This is the whole reason we have 2 sessions and we continue to have the back and forth via email.
Yeah.
So that was kind of the initial idea here, but if you want to rework that,
No, I'll do it. I
or
just didn't
anything.
understand. I did not get that when I read it. So this is good.
Okay.
This is helpful.
perfect. Yeah. And that's
Yeah.
kind of the what can we do call
Then-
to action.
Then you ought to title her chair of the Sustainability Commission.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a good point.
If she's gonna be doing the call to action, she's gotta have the rank.
Yes.
And is there one more comment on this page?
No worries.
Can we make it clear that it's a like, look at our progress, like being a little positive motivator? You know, like
Yeah.
you know,
I
like
think you and I should meet
look at
and
us.
maybe work through the quote.
You know what I would do? Oh, the quote. Oh, you
Well,
want me
it
to
could
do
be-
that? I
it
was
could
thinking
be-
up here like, go Sammamish.
Mhm.
You know, I give them a little like, good job, guys. Like they are doing stuff. And we do have the students come to our booth and they do know stuff.
Mhm.
Right? Like give them a little like, this is a little,
This could be you
a
saying,
little
go Sammamish. I'm really proud of our progress so far.
yeah.
We
it
need
could
your all
be.
support. That could be just another option. I'm not saying we
Yes.
necessarily need to, but that could be something good to include in your
Okay.
if you want. I think you and I should meet individually and maybe workshop that.
Okay. You know what I do? You know what I do well? If I actually take this home and I kind of did it how I visualize it and send that to you before we meet.
Sure.
Because it's hard for me to I have to do it out
Mhm.
rather than sit here and try to explain it.
Yeah, that's
So maybe I'll do it out and then send it to you.
sure. I think that's very similar to what Stephanie and Swan had done as well.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry if this was somebody's idea, the tree with the leaves.
I
just don't see
it was
data
pulled
that
from
way.
the tree canopy thing.
Okay,
I think
sorry.
that she was a little
I've never seen data in trees.
I've seen that a bunch of
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Energy efficiency and power.
Mhm.
How are we feeling about this page? Do we feel like, hearing some of the comments, definitely simplifying some of the bullet points? Maybe adding a QR code or two
Mhm.
so that folks have more information.
Yeah, if I looked at this, I'd say, what's the home energy assessment? What is she talking about?
Yeah.
What's a smart thermostat? How do I find that?
I'm also hoping this will I recognize a lot of the readers of this guide are there's going to be a wide range of folks with different background and existing knowledge. And part of this is to get folks curious, right? It's
to get
very
something
easy to Google home energy assessment or smart thermostat.
Well, but on the online version, you can put links, right?
Because of the ADA requirements that we
Oh, they
have
don't
to
redo
comply
it.
with, we are looking at
Oh.
redoing our PDF reader accessibility stuff. So there's going to be information on the website. It may not be an activated guide the way that
Okay.
it was.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I think this page has a really key statistic. That's the 80% comes from residential sector. I think like that part could also be bolded, just to
Bolded.
emphasize that like this is why the individual actions really matter. And if there's a way to put that on more pages or just like a little bit earlier as well, like just experimenting with that, I think that'd be a good idea.
I will also be not directly on that, but that's part of what I'll be doing for my closing comment as well.
Great.
Okay. Yeah, I think going throughout and bolding keywords, not just on those first two pages, but throughout will also help draw folks' eyes and break up some of the text for sure.
I think that is a good paragraph. That like it's that's a sort like that.
Short and sweet.
It's short and sweet. Like it could be shorter, but it doesn't need to be. Like it fits into the space well. If we wanted the font size to be a little bit larger, it could be trimmed down a little bit, but like this isn't specific information and actions. This is a little bit of why you should be doing this. Like why do you care? And then a little bit more of like some of the actual actions in the checklist.
Yeah. I think one thing that I would like to do, we have a lot of information on our website. We don't have a lot of people going to find that information on our website. So for each of these checklists, with each of these items, instead of having QR codes for each item, have at the bottom, learn more, QR code goes directly to a page with more resources.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
great.
Yeah,
That's
that's
Yeah.
something I can take some time to do in August.
As a general reminder for the QR code with a typed out link right below it, please.
Typed out link right below.
It doesn't have to be super large. Those they're obviously readable.
That's good.
But because like we have like with the tree giveaway, we have the QR code there, and the bottom of the page you just have the actual link typed out.
Yeah. And it's easy for me to do redirects.
Yeah.
So if I have a website that is a link that is buried in our website, I can redirect. So it could be sammamish.us/energy efficiency and power.
Yeah, perfect.
Exactly. Let me
Yeah, it could even could more in the weeds than that. So we could also just stick a year on that, so you could also change the redirect later if need be.
Yeah.
Or reuse the same redirect.
Okay. The next page, we had an idea last time for the home energy eco label scavenger hunt. So folks get familiar with Energy Star and Water Sense and some of those. Do folks still feel like that's a good use of space, or given the conversations on the first pages, do we want to maybe take that space to do a little bit of a deeper dive into the data and give more space on the front pages by using that? Yeah.
Okay, so my thought was over here, you're saying what the city's doing. Here is Steve saying heat pumps. Get your heat pump. Here's how much it's saving me.
Did I send you a heat pump comment?
No, Tim is actually doing it.
But he's the heat pump guy. Like I always think, what's the one leaning on? Like he's the one leaning on it, doing it, and he has it installed. Like maybe he also has one and leans on it and takes it. But like I would want to. So here I already learned here. Okay, I need to reduce my emissions. How do I do that?
There's no heat pump in here. You just put that heat pump water heater.
He's talking about the
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And then here is how I get the heat pump. There's so many times on Kohani I see on the page people are being like, heat pump or not, what do I do? And I'm always posting your little link to your Sammamish Independent. So like people want to know. So I would like, here you go. Like here's how, and so maybe this could be half of it, and the rest is like, get your heat pump. You know, here's how you get it.
A thought follow up to that, because from the Energy Smart East side, one of the things for that is like getting heat pumps through that, right?
That is the entire program.
So I would put that as the header, actually, instead of Energy Smart East side.
You would put
I would like something about heat pumps, and like you still like make sure to emphasize that it's with Energy Smart East side, but Energy Smart East side doesn't tell me anything other than there's a thing called Energy Smart East side, but heat pump connections or whatever, like, okay, that tells me, oh, there's something about heat pumps here. And then it's like, oh, this is through Energy Smart East side.
Yeah, how do I
Heat
switch to
acquisition
electric?
through Energy Star East side, something like that.
And whatever fits in the header, yeah.
Yeah.
If everyone changed to a heat pump, you know this stuff. Nancy.
What?
If everyone switched to a heat pump, we would reduce our natural gas by blah, blah, blah. And then you
You
know,
basically cut it in half, you know.
see, like something like that, like, oh my gosh, really? Well, where do I get it? How do I do it?
What were you like? What do you have in mind for what the eco-label scavenger hunt might look like?
Yeah, the thought was to have photos of each of the eco labels and say a very brief blurb. So, you know, Energy Star products are certified as, you know, energy efficient, and here's some appliances that you might find it on.
Okay.
And then like check those appliances that you
Okay,
find it on.
because the amount of space that takes up could be variable. So if we do want to have more about the heat pumps, that could probably take up a smaller portion of that page.
I agree.
And this picture, you know,
I would
like,
so one thing that I'd like to see with a lot of these pictures is exactly what our lovely public commenter was saying earlier, which is having a did you know? So overlapping right here, have I kind of wrote it, but it's dark, but having a pop out like an overlay. Did you know heat pumps can reduce heating in your house by X%?
Yep.
and yeah, like say,
Did you know bus route 269 is increasing its headways in September to 15 minutes and adding weekend service? Those little call outs that make people like, oh,
and
that matters.
That call out could be us saying it just like last time, right? Did
That
you
was the
know?
original-
Let's
that
do
was-
that. Like, did you know? Like, he could be like that. Like, did you know?
Well, the did you know for the heat pump should be, in my view, should be, will reduce your carbon footprint by, and we can come up with a average number of so many metric tons per year.
That would be fabulous.
I think that could be good to combine, but I think what the idea was is having the did you know be some of these like really flashy, impactful facts that get people curious. And then the commissioner testimonials are, here's what I did, you can do it too.
Yeah. You're not gonna
But
say,
it's too much. Like, I feel like this, like, I don't know if they're gonna read this, and it's so much. But if his was like, I don't know, it makes us look more like experts. I mean, couldn't it be also include whatever that is? Like, did you know you can cut your heat pump and, you know, your natural gas, and he's showing how he has this by his heat pump?
I mean,
You know what
I think we
mean?
could do that. I think I would look to other commissioners for a little bit of guidance. I want to make sure that this is an everybody decision.
Yes.
Because this was something that we had discussed at the last meeting, was doing a commissioner spotlight as a, I did it, you can do it too. And then having a did you know call out box here for some of the shorter facts.
Okay.
I think it could be both. I think there's certain quotes, like for example, Mazon's quote about 6 ppd.
But couldn't he could do it like that though? Did you know by signing up for Puget Sound Energy's Green Power Program, I'm saving da.
Yeah, we can do that.
You know what I mean? Like, do it. I'm not saying don't do that, but like, could it be a change into that? Like you could do it both.
So then what would you have as a call out box up here? Or would you not have a call out box?
I think the call out box, I don't know, just thinking like I would think like just everyone who's coming to the booth who's like, how do I get it? I'd be like, here's Steve with this thing. Steve's saying, did you know you could cut it in half? And then the call out, or maybe Steve's saying that down here, and then up here is something like, did you know that, you know, if you use our rebate, you're gonna blah, blah, you know, something.
Yeah.
So it's all heat pumpy on the same page. I don't know.
Let's think about it a little
Yeah.
more. I think you and
Do
I
you
should
guys
still
see
meet
it?
individually.
Do you see what I'm saying or no?
I see some of what you're saying. The conversation's also going a couple different directions at once. Like you're like some of no, I don't want to say you're talking past each other because you're not, but the specific items that you're talking about are changing as you're going through. So I think that's where some of the confusion is coming from, because you're talking about different things as you're going. And I think that's throwing us off a little.
You get it, or did you like Steve with his heat pump?
I see it. Yes.
I don't know. I just yeah. Let's keep going.
Okay.
We'll keep going.
Yeah, I think it will be helpful when we have the quotes and images locked down for commissioners. I think to
Yes.
envision that a little bit more and then work around it. And use that as an opportunity to fill in some of those gaps, right?
I do really love the did you know call out. I was thinking about like the space here, and I'm not entirely sure if eco-label scavenger hunt is the best space use. The only reason why I'm thinking that is I think we could maybe like think of something that's a little bit more directly related to heat pumps. Like here we have, as you smartly said, we could have something like an interactive thing that's a little bit more connected to the heat pumps and what's happening here. But I'm not entirely sure what that would be. I'm just thinking like what would have the greatest like impact, and if like people will go away from the scavenger hunt like actually wanted to take some action.
I think maybe weatherization, because weatherization and heat pumps go hand in hand. If you have a heat pump, but your home is not weatherized, you're losing a lot of the energy efficiency of the heat pump. The other thing is a lot of Sammamish residents, we have an over 65% adoption rate of heat pumps in terms of our permitting data. So a lot of folks do have heat pumps. We're still working to get all those folks who are on natural gas, but there's a lot of homes in Sammamish do have heat pumps. We talked to them at farmers markets, so they're going to look at this and they're immediately going to go, "I don't need this page." But if it's a heat pump and weatherization, it's already have a heat pump. Here's what you can do.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I like that.
Yeah,
Something I think we do want to balance, because we want to balance. This is the only sustainable guide that someone has looked through with. We have been sending these out for a couple years now.
exactly.
And so like we don't want to necessarily avoid saying something just because it's repeat information. We do want to make sure that it is either new or at least in some way different, so that people are also looking at the older ones. It's not going to be the exact same stuff. Like I wouldn't put the same graphic in. That sort of thing.
What if we had a home graphic that shows where heat escapes and some of those hot buttons?
Yeah.
Something like that could work. Yeah.
Yeah, the eco label scavenger hunt, I do feel like you know that anyway, anytime you find people doing push your thing. I mean,
Exactly.
you know what I mean?
If there is still space to include a note about it, just because that does tie in very well with energy efficiency, which is what the heat pump is also a part of to a degree, whether that's on this page or like if that goes also whether that's on this page or something on the first energy page. I do think having some note about the eco labels would be good. It doesn't necessarily have to be the full scavenger hunt, but
And it could be small.
yeah, like
Small.
it's just because if that's not something
Show
people
the
know
symbol.
if that's not something people know to look for, it doesn't mean anything to them. And so we could even just have like look for like it could just be if we're able to put the symbols and we could just put in like a couple of the main symbols for those labels. Look for these when you're getting new appliances. That sort of idea.
I definitely agree. And I really like the interactive part of the scavenger hunt. So I don't think it needs like this much space, but we have it like as a bar at the bottom and we still allow people to check things like as interactive as you can make it, I think the better.
Okay.
Yeah. It probably could fit as a small thing at the bottom of that page, yeah.
Yeah.
Or just depending on how much
Yeah.
space like if the checklist moves up on the previous page, there might just be enough space for that where there was the white space before.
Yeah. Okay. Super appreciate all this feedback. I'm going to do my very best to work with Katie on reworking some of this. And I think what I might do as a follow-up to this meeting, because we don't have a commission meeting in August, is to set up some individual meetings with each of you to workshop those quotes to make sure that, I mean, really the way I'm kind of looking at this is we're working on this all together and each commissioner has kind of identified a focus area that they feel they have some passion for or personal experience in. So working with each of those commissioners on kind of what feels good to fit in their quote, and then whatever's not fit in the quote, let's work it in elsewhere. Okay. Moving on. Sustainable transportation. This Metroflex and community van page is looking a little bare. I'd like to make the font larger. And I would like to add a QR code here for the getting around Metro trip planner. And then a did you know for the bus route 269. Metro. And then for the at-home checklist, same thing. It's too much white space. And I do think we need like one or two other things that folks can do. I think that one got a little bare with some of the cuts. And then
is this where you put in buy electric cars?
Or vehicles in general.
Yeah.
Um,
This is, the argument here is mostly reduce pollution by reducing traffic.
mhm,
But the other argument should be
Electric
reduce
vehicles.
pollution by
mhm,
not making it.
mhm.
Yeah.
Uh,
One thing I think we do want to be mindful of is while we can encourage electric vehicles, I think we also need to be mindful of the fact not everybody can afford an electric vehicle
I
or may
understand.
have one. So
But
leaving
so
it in.
maybe language that suggests that they investigate or
Yeah.
Why are these not here? Like, take Metroflex and community van, use public transportation. Like, it seems like they're kind of randomly.
this one might not need to be an at-home checklist, and that might help, because they aren't all at-home checklists. anyway.
Yeah.
And I
that
think making this not say at-home checklist will open up a little more for.
Yeah, maybe ideas to try.
It could just be like ways to get around.
Yeah.
Because ways to get around opens up just putting in like electric vehicles. You're not saying you should go get an electric vehicle. You're like, this is a more sustainable way to get around.
Mhm.
And like carpool, walking, biking, planning ahead for trips, like those all fit under here's more sustainable ways to travel.
Great. I think, yeah, we had a separate section here for public transportation, but I think moving those into this ways to get around would be beneficial and would then free up a little bit more space to make the font bigger
Mhm.
and have a larger photo.
I think something that would make the checklist like more engaging is just like right underneath like the title, you can write something like check actions as you complete them
Mhm.
or something fun like that, so people actually know like they can be interactive with it.
Encouraging people to actually treat it as a checklist.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think that would make it really fun.
Didn't somebody have a bingo?
Sustainability Ambassadors does have a bingo. It is a full page.
Yeah.
So that would be a full page. We do plan to link to the bingo.
Yeah, I was gonna say we could link to that.
Bus bingo.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that could be a part of the like ways to get around or something, or whether or that could actually probably wouldn't be under like that with the checklist, but that could be in the public transit space where that gets moved around.
Yeah. And then again, at the bottom of the ways to get around checklist, there will be a learn more QR code linking to the city website. Which we do have a getting around page that provides all that information.
Small formatting thing for those at the bottom of the page where that whole paragraph is bolded. It makes it really hard to tell where the link is in that text. Because there's a link at the bottom of that.
Oh, I see. I was looking at Stephanie's. Yeah.
It's hard to tell that there's a link there. So just the whole thing shouldn't be bolded. Only part of it. Like it could just be King County Metro Trip Planner is bolded and the rest of it's regular
Can
text.
you make it a different color?
It doesn't need to just be a different color necessarily.
And then we'll have some bolding in here, right? Like the Marymore Village Station has 1,400 parking spaces with 30 ADA stalls.
Mhm.
That would be helpful.
Yeah.
Okay.
Quick question about the benefits section. I think the first / last mile connections, I think that might be one of the wordings that might not be fully clear when people are reading it. So maybe like it would be enough as just connections to bus and light rail.
That might not even necessarily need to go under benefits because that's not as much benefits as like things that's like resources for like things for people to be looking for. Like
my thought was maybe like easier connections to bus and light rail.
Yeah.
Because for some folks it is easier to just like not everyone, but for some folks. Okay. Brian, I see over there you've been a little quiet. Do you have any recommendations on these sections?
No, I think the addition is pretty good so far.
Okay.
That's a strange spelling for community.
Oh, that is.
Oh, for the van, yeah.
I like that spelling.
Yeah.
How do you feel about removing, but what's the difference between the two?
I don't think that's necessary. Yeah. Because like we want to emphasize that these are both tools people like these are both tools for people to be using.
Yeah.
From a visual thing, either this is a small thing, but either having the cars going the same direction or flipping them.
So I tried flipping them and it makes the words go the opposite way when I flip them.
No, then either or getting a picture of it going the other direction. But yes,
Yeah, I
then
looked.
then maybe
I looked. They do have them going going different directions, but they don't. Not in the way that these are very clearly showing
Yeah.
two different vehicles. Yes,
Then
I know.
then I might just suggest swapping them.
Community van on the left, Metroplex
Yeah.
on the
So they're
right.
doing this instead of this?
Yes, and swapping them in the header as well to match that.
Yep.
I just because if we are like with what the difference between the two, yes, having the head to head makes sense. But it's if we're not making it like a contrast or making it more of a here's both, I just think that'll just have a little bit less aggressive energy to it is the best way I can put it.
Yeah.
Because especially with the motion blur, this feels a little bit aggressive.
I get that. Totally get that.
So, not that it belongs in this guide, but I have a question. This is something that always irked me when I've asked, how far away are you to somebody? They give me a time instead of a miles.
That's how they run the program.
That is a very just
unfortunately.
like cultural thing for
I know
a
it
lot of the
is.
states.
I know it is.
Yeah.
But I don't drive on minutes. I drive on miles.
Yeah.
And you might take 15 minutes to get there. I might be able to do it in 10.
Yeah.
Or traffic, there's traffic. It
Yeah,
seems
it's gonna make it.
Yeah, there's.
Yeah.
Something that comes.
So.
Unfortunately, that's just the
when I see-
Metro program.
When I see
guidance.
2 hours away, I could get almost to Vantage.
Yeah.
In 2 hours. Matter of fact, I can get past Vantage. I can get to George,
Okay.
but, as Chrissy said, traffic could influence that, a lot of things. So if somebody's planning, okay, I wanna go to the concert at the Gorge, and they make it.
I think that's a very specific situation. Ultimately, these are not programs that are run by the city. These are King County Metro
Yeah.
programs. So it would be up to those for residents to work with those program staff, and you can't take them overnight. So like they do evaluate these programs on a trip to trip basis. That's why you do have to request trips with community van because there's not the same kind of rigid guidelines as Metroflex.
Yeah.
Community van is at its core meant to be flexible. I totally hear what you're saying now. It's a very unique program.
I'll say,
Yeah.
yeah,
So is there a time limit to how long you can stay when you reach your destination with the community van?
There is not. It just has to be all within the same day. There's no overnight trips allowed.
That's awesome.
And obviously, if you have a very long all day trip, you might have a harder time getting a volunteer driver to commit to a full day.
Mhm.
And in that case, you would want to drive your own trips and become a volunteer driver.
Got it.
Yeah.
And if you get like a volunteer driver, do they just wait or do they come back when you're ready to leave?
They do need to wait. So
Got it.
typically what they'll do is bring a book or, run a brief errand that's nearby. Which is why those community van volunteers are amazing folks that are willing to drive those trips, often retired or have some free time. And why not every community van trip is going to be accepted.
Totally.
If there's not a driver available, unfortunately, that is how the program works. Yeah.
Yeah, I think if there's a little bit of space just to add something small like that, daytime trips can be as long as you want just no overnight or something like that. Not with that wording, but that might make it a bit more.
It's somewhat covered there, that just doesn't have the no overnight section. But it is somewhat covered by the where can you go.
I could do ride anywhere up to 2 hours away in the same day.
Amazing.
yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I think this page looks good overall though.
Yeah, I mean, what this is saying, I'm gonna have a granddaughter at Central. For $2, my wife and I can go visit her.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you find a driver,
Yeah,
you can become your own driver. But then if you're a driver, you do need at least 2 riders.
Mhm.
Community van is meant to be a trip sharing
Okay.
Yeah, it's a different version of van pool.
Wow,
But-
that is,
It's a sweet deal. It's very much a lot of folks don't know that this is a resource, or it is a little bit confusing. We will have a community van booth at Kahani Days on Saturday, and we will have a community van booth at the Sustainable Sammamish Farmers Market on August 5th to try to help educate the community so folks can actually go talk to program staff.
Question from is Metroflex tapped in with the like Orca cards? Is it
Yeah.
part of? Okay, that might be something really good to highlight. Actually, that when you tap, like when you pay for the Metroflex, you're also paying for the bus or the light rail when you take it to those.
Yeah.
Because that's all like once you tap in, you're good for 2 hours.
community van, going
Community-
Norca card.
Community van does not have Orca card scanners, but they do take, like, if you show them the transit
Mhm.
app, they will take that as payment.
That one's also a little, because they have to wait wherever they bring you. That one's a little less useful for like, you're not really going to be taking community van to transit realistically.
No.
But Metroflex, you take to transit.
I do want to just flag, we have about 2
Yes.
minutes.
You said we were gonna get out early.
Should've known.
On a day when we look at the guide, no. These old-
I do feel like these two sections
Yeah.
turned out pretty well.
Yes.
In terms of the layout, in terms of the amount of information, they complement each other.
Yes.
So maybe we can just quickly run through, just like, I know we've been kind of going popcorn style, but if we could just each person say their piece and we'll just keep on trudging.
I have a couple quick things.
Okay.
Just not bold, like again, like not having full text bolded for those, like focusing on the actual thing that we actually want to be bolded. And then just is for the picture for natural resources, is that like I can potentially get a picture, like I can send in a picture of the gardens.
That was something that Nick had
Okay.
actually sent
That's
in.
what
That was
I
a
was-
commissioner photo,
Okay,
but
perfect.
we can totally do it.
I'm good for that to be there, and I can send mine in for some of the later stuff. I just want to double check on that.
Send me any photos
Yeah.
you have and we'll work through it.
Sounds good.
More photo options are always better.
Yeah.
My comment is like, it seems like there are two different lists happening here. Is there a reason why this can't be here? Like, why rewild your lawn and garden and all this is not part of this, which is pick up litter and
Yeah, that was part of just reworking the guide for this year to try to have less words and
Mhm.
kind
in
of
one spot.
mix it up a little bit. So, yeah.
I think having those be separate things works because it's still about natural resources, but this is more like. I think it works having them as like two different lists of things.
What we might do is, instead of tips and tricks for everyone, like how to care for your environment when out and about, or something like that. We also could do, because this is a 2-page spread, we could combine the yards and gardens section from natural resources and water conservation and kind of have a central feature. Obviously, there's a lot going on. Especially because these are kind of short. I might work with the graphic designer a little bit on shuffling that a little bit. But I think the idea here is not everyone has a yard and garden, right? So the folks that don't have a yard and garden, we still want to make sure that, this is what you can do at home as it relates to water conservation. And if you have a yard and garden, here's what you can do. So that was the vision, but I can see taking a step back and looking at that, how it might not be so clear.
I think one idea for that is adding the yards and gardens to kind of like the same box here, and then just putting it under the tips and tricks, like making the yards and gardens text blue as well, and then same format. And then if we have like an even longer image, that could fit nicely there.
Okay. So maybe what we could do is move this tips and tricks to the outside of the boots. Have a photo that goes across both pages. Have the yard and garden.
Doesn't even need to say the full spread picture, but.
Hmm.
But in terms of content, we're feeling pretty okay about this.
I have some little notes that I'll write up for later.
Okay.
I think if there's a way to make like the yards and gardens, like if we keep it here, just like blue font as well, just to emphasize it a little bit more.
Better level.
So we have 5 minutes. Did we want to quickly go through this or, and then make sure we have a minute to go over tomorrow or Saturday, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Waste reduction, kind of the same thing as natural resources and water conservation. Obviously, there's some blank space on here that we can use to integrate some of the comments from earlier. So this could be a little compost section. And I think we could, for this one, I think we could combine the at-home checklist and the tips and tricks to make room for that.
Yeah, same thing here. I have some little notes that I can write up later, so we don't have to go through them all now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Steve, I completely made up your quote on that page, by the way. I just needed something to put in there, so I just wanted to let you know.
Pretty good.
I just,
We're using air quotes around Steve's name.
yeah.
This is where we could do that. Did you know 70% of what goes to a landfill could have been composted or recycled?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And did you know maybe on this page, your green bin can have the food
Yeah.
along with your plants?
Yep.
Kind of comment.
And then this last page is, I might switch this out with a photo of everyone at a booth. I did. That would be great
Okay,
if you
that's-
extend those. And then Swan's quote.
Yep. I'll write that up a little bit more cleanly for the actual input. Yeah. That was just something I drafted up for my initial feedback, so I went over later.
Yeah.
I think for this last page, it'd be fun if we, like, after this big question, we had like a little blank or something for people to write.
Yeah.
I think it's really great. We have, I guess, a little bit more white space on the waste reduction page, so we have some space to incorporate feedback.
Yep.
And can you tell me about this last page? What is this? What's this?
Call to action.
Yes, these are going to be QR codes.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
These are QR codes, and it might be a very brief, if it doesn't get too busy, it might be urban forest management plan, learn more about how the city takes care of its trees.
Mhm.
Climate action plan, learn more about how the city is reducing its greenhouse gas emissions. Sustainability Commission, meet the Sustainability Commission.
And for this one, because it might be a lot to type out every single link, like in the text form, it could also just be a single link that redirects to a page that has all of the links. If it doesn't fit well to put links with every QR code.
Yeah, true.
If it fits well to have it with every, that'd be great. But if not, having a like collection.
Yeah. Just so we have time for commissioner and staff reports, do we want to make a motion to extend the meeting by 5 to 10 minutes?
Sure. Yes, I would like to make a motion to extend the meeting by 5 to 10 minutes.
I'll second.
Aye.
Brian, are you good?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay, great. I know this was a lot. I appreciate all of your ideas. I know that this will turn out great in the end. Still a work in progress. And we've got a couple of drafts coming. So keep an eye out on your email for those. And please reach out to me if you'd like to meet individually to talk through some of this, especially for the pages where you're the one kind of owning the quote. I would be more than happy to. I've got some time over the next couple weeks. And obviously this is like our major outreach. So we want to make sure that it's up to everyone's standards.
And thank you, Rose, for your huge amount of work on it. I mean, I know it's easy to be the one giving input.
That's what I think so, because I've been so deep in it, it's sometimes hard to
Yep.
like take that fresh look and be
Yeah.
like, yes, you know.
Yeah.
So
The saying we have, mine's first author never has a chance.
And can you remind us when do you need the comments by?
Ideally, the end of day tomorrow.
So end of day tomorrow is for photos and the first draft of your quote. I would like feedback from you all.
So I gave you a quote. I don't know if you want to use it, but I think.
It looks like she didn't use it. Did you just send it today? Is that why?
No. A while back.
I think that the quote that you had sent was not actually for this section, which is why I had made one up for you.
Okay, no, it was heat pumpy-ish.
It was heat pumpy-ish, yeah. So for folks who I had not yet received, this draft was I've gotten some feedback since this draft was finalized, if that makes sense. So this draft does not incorporate all of the most updated feedback. This was just the complete that I had in front of me that has the visuals and everything. Yes, so I will be working with each of you. The feedback on this draft is due by July 15th at 5 p.m. And then I will be working with the graphic designer between July 15th and August 3rd to make some of those tweaks, get the updates. And I anticipate having a draft to you all with all of this the week of August 3rd with a pretty quick review period through August 12th. So August 12th is the final date for feedback and review. If the graphic designer can get this in sooner, can get all this in sooner than August 3rd, you will be receiving the guide before that time. August 3rd is kind of the latest that we can push that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I will go home and get my wife to take a picture in front of the heat pump.
Great.
Maybe put on a cape. Super heat pump guy.
I love that. Christy, that is a great idea.
Just don't let Edmund see right next to a fan with a cape.
So next we
That's
have
a good idea.
the commissioner and staff reports, upcoming events. So do you have a slide for that?
I don't have a slide for that. We have the agenda packet, which has the event calendar, which is available for all of you. I did send out an email earlier this week about Kahani Days. Can I just get a quick raise of hands? I know I've spoken with a number of you who's going to be there. Yeah. Okay. I think you said you can come for part of the time.
Can't commit just right now. I just need to double check my schedule later.
No worries.
But
3 is
I can.
perfect. I did hear from.
I will have to leave probably 12:30, 12:45.
That's okay.
Is it 10 a.m.?
Yeah.
10 a.m.?
10 a.m. Recommend arriving a little bit early so that you can find parking. I will have the booths set up by 9:30. I'll probably be getting there around 9. So that's the plan. The Energy Smart Eastside staff member that was coming to support had some family things come up, and so she is no longer going to be there. We do have one community volunteer from Energy Smart Eastside who will be manning that booth, and either Steve or I or whoever. My plan is to have at least 2 folks at each booth. 3 is also fun. That way folks can kind of get a break and walk around and everything. So 10 to 2, Kalani Park, check your emails for the details. Yeah. Only other updates?
It's not Klahani Park, it's Lakeside. It's the one where Yellow Lake entrance is.
Okay.
Where the big playground is.
Yeah. The address is in, for some reason the organizer said AKA Klahani Park, apparently.
This is Lakeside. Usually it's because the 5K ends right at the entrance and it's Lakeside Park where the pool is.
Yeah, it's right next to there. There are diagrams in the email that I sent.
Email.
It's very clear. Perfect. We are tabling on July 22nd at the farmers market. You should all have that as a reminder in your email calendars. We also have an Energy Smart Eastside workshop coming up on July 22nd. I have a bunch of materials. We will be mainly promoting the tree the tree giveaway, because that will have opened, as well as the repair event and some of the other events that are coming up at our booth. And then the Energy Smart Eastside booth will be promoting the heat pumps and the upcoming community workshop. I am pleased to share we're at 96% of the goal for Puget Sound Energy Green Power. So that's really great. I got that update this week. If we get past our 100 enrollments, which I anticipate at this rate we are, I am speaking with PSE about a potential incentive. It looks like tentatively we would get basically $100 extra for every enrollment past that point, which is great.
That's
so 25 enrollments
for
each person enrolling.
No, like
towards
what do we use it?
Towards the solar panel.
Like
solar
more
panels.
to more solar.
So these funds are going towards solar panels on the top of Fire Station 83. So additional funding will just decrease the amount of city dollars we need to use for that.
Gotcha. Okay.
$2,500 is the tentative proposal for every additional 25 enrollments. So they are in increments of 25. If we don't hit that 25, we don't get it. 200.
Cool.
But that's about how it maps out.
So we're at 96 in 6 months.
Mhm.
So you assume our
7.
progress is linear.
Okay, Steve, let's be
That-
mindful of time here.
That's always the first mistake.
So I would know for sure I can't be at the July 22nd, but I will be at July.
I should be able to.
Great. I think that was everything for the commissioner and staff reports that I needed to cover. So
Cool. And then the last thing is the long-term calendar. Can we
Yes.
look at that?
we absolutely can. I think we've kind of talked about it already tonight. In
Mhm.
September, we're looking at the urban forest management plan. We may not have guidance on the town center update, so that will likely be bumped, especially
Yeah.
because the UFMP is pretty hefty. So I think that will just be a meeting dedicated to the UFMP.
Mhm.
And then in October, reminder about that Cedar Grove field trip. I am looking into the community van for all of us, so we can use that. And then after that, we're keeping things going with some additional projects. So that is what
Flying by.
No, I can't believe we're close the way through the year.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so does anybody have anything else before we close the meeting?
I move we adjourn.
All right,
Okay, and we
thank
have
you all.
voted.